There's no stopping Jim Brown on an effort like this. He goes over the top and into the end zone for his 5th touchdown of the day.
Have you ever seen an image of strength? Like this. A picture of power. Like this. A portrait of courage. Like this. Ask yourself these questions, because the answers tell you how superhuman this man really was. Ask yourself these questions, because his whole life, that's what Jim Brown was about.
We cannot make exception to these laws just because a person happens to be black or white.
Forcing the world to ask why things were the way they were, and how the rest of us could force change.
This is Jim Brown.
He had power. You ain't see nobody knock him down. Look at the film. You don't see nobody knock him
Most
back.
devastating ball carrier in the history of football.
He was born in the South, St. Simon's Island off the coast of Georgia in 1936, and raised in the North, a small town on Long Island, where his legend as an athlete began. Any sport Jim Brown played, he dominated. From football to basketball to track to lacrosse. Even though there's little video of him playing that last one, there were those who said there's never been a better lacrosse player who walked the earth. But football was the game that lifted him to stardom. First at Syracuse University, where he was an All-American, and then in Cleveland with the Browns. His NFL career began in 1957, and he played in the league for 9 years, absolutely dominating the sport and rewriting the record book, setting a new standard for how a running back could rule the game with a combination of speed, force, and will. But Jim Brown was so much more than arguably the greatest football player of all time. That was clear when he retired before he turned 30 to become a new kind of pioneer. A black action star in the movies. A Hollywood leading man who refused to be cornered into how the world cast him. And that was just the start of the legacy he built outside the football field. During the Civil Rights Movement, he was front and center in the fight to earn blacks economic opportunities. And in 1967, he organized the famed Cleveland Summit to support Muhammad Ali and his refusal to serve in Vietnam. Then, in the 1980s, he founded the American program to provide outreach to gang members and kids in juvenile detention facilities to give them education, hope, and a chance when no one else would.
We have changed many, many lives, and as I stand here right now, our people can carry out the work. They don't need me, and when I leave here, they can still carry out the work and they don't need me.
Even if he sometimes looked like Superman, Jim Brown wasn't a perfect man, but he was one of the most important figures ever to make a mark in the landscape of sports and society. He changed the game of football with his play. He redefined the limits of what a black man could be in America through his strength, his power, and his courage. He never stopped looking for ways to make the country better for those of us who followed in his footsteps. Rest in power, Jim Brown. We'll keep doing the work in your name.
Afternoon, this is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. We're talking about players that changed the game. Jim Brown died last week. Died Thursday. He was one of the greatest players, greatest running backs to play the game. He's the only African American on his football team, the black player. Syracuse did not like black players. Brown's was so dominant that he made, that's why he was the only one. Brown was so dominant that he made rules change and continues to move the stick. Jim Brown was a lacrosse Hall of Famer. He also played lacrosse and played football. He was selected in 9 consecutive Pro Bowls, named to the 1967 All-Decade Team, 3-time MVP, 1957, 1958, 1965. The only player to ever do that in NFL history other than a quarterback. He was named NFL Rookie of the Year in 1957. Only one player in history averaged more than 100 yards in rushing a game. He never missed a game. Brown continued to his football career. He was also second in attendance in the Army. He served 4 years and discharged captain. Brown played his first 2 years of college basketball, averaging 13.1 points a game. For his career, he finished second on the team in scoring, a sophomore, averaging 15 points a game. Brown was also ranked 5th in the national championship, and this is according to CBS. As a running back for the Cleveland Browns, he ranked up behind statistics in his 9 seasons. Brown never missed a game. He won 3 MVP awards, as we mentioned. He averaged 104.3, still the record today. Statistics might tell you part of his style of play. Aggressive, hard-nosed, canny, made singular demand defenses. He was not going to do the job for them. Instead, he was stepping up out of bounds when varying near the sideline. He turned up the field, dared defenders to bring him down, forcing the opposition to deal with every bit of his strength and 230-pound body and speed. He was also an actor. Brown did not take well to the threat he was considered was an insult to serve that he decided he would not allow model to any benefit of any long form of service. He was still in his prime career at the age of 30, coming off an MVP season in which he had rushed for 1,544 yards, 17 touchdowns, but he refused to be treated like just another cog in the machinery of the NFL, which was rising in the mid-1960s into a new era of popularity. He called the news conference and retired. He was not going to be pushed around and disrespected. In the summer of 1967, summering Bill Russell, Muhammad Ali, Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and other promote black athletes, Cleveland Ali had stood tall in the heavyweight title. Imprisonment for protesting in a Vietnam War. By refusing to be drafted in the military, Brown and others listened to Ali explain his intentions that bade the boxing champion in support. What a life, and a statement made with that life. But there were no perfect heroes. He was arrested several times for allegations against him. He never was convicted of a harmful crime against women and men. Get angry, and I have taken the anger out in inappropriate ways in the past, he told Sports Illustrated in 2002, before adding to administration in the way that only understood his faults. But I have to do so with both men and women, and men to the
Hosannas.
The troubling aspect of his life, should not be glossed over through his resistance. He demanded to be seen fully human, all parts of himself acknowledged. It is how we must be viewed, him in death. Go to the first NBA championship, 113-11 win. Unable to score in the last minutes, the Nuggets captured the win. LeBron in the loss had 40. Nikola Jokic had 30. Jamal Murray had 25, and Aaron Gordon had 22. When you have 3 players in the 20s, that's hard to lose. 113-111. There's your 4-game sweep that reached the NBA Finals in their history. Tonight, Game 4, the chance to sweep are the underdogs Heat. They have underdogs the whole playoffs that is no longer becoming a story. The Heat have beaten one of the first seeds and are on their way to beating the 2 seed. The Heat led 3-0 with a chance to take the series tonight. In only 2 sports has this happened, becoming down 3-0, hockey and baseball, where the teams came back down from 3-0. One of the most famous ones is the Boston Red Sox, but it's never happened in basketball. Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum are players to watch out for. Jimmy Butler for the Heat and Jason Tatum for the Celtics. Game time is at 7:30. Miami is favored by 1. In the NHL, the Panthers are the underdog, lead 2-0. Jack Eichlich for the Panthers is a player to watch out for. And the Stars, Jason Robertson. Game is in Dallas. Face-off is at 7. It's lead 2-0 over Dallas. Over the Hurricane, they squared off last night as the Panthers won 1-0. They will play again tomorrow for the Panthers to get a sweep. Face-off is at 7. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report.